Everybody's got the will to be successful. Everybody does. Everybody wants to be successful. But the most important part is the work you do to prepare to be successful.
The best investment you can make is in yourself. When Mark Cuban says this, entrepreneurs everywhere should listen. The billionaire investor, Shark Tank star, and owner of the Dallas Mavericks didn't inherit his fortune or get lucky with a single big break. He built it step by step, starting with side hustles while working regular jobs. While most people see side hustles as just extra income, Cuban recognizes them as something far more powerful, the training ground for future millionaires. Today, I'm sharing 5 principles that Cuban has demonstrated throughout his entrepreneurial journey that can transform an ordinary side hustle into a path to significant wealth. 5 Side Hustle Millionaire Principles. We'll explore 5 key principles that Cuban has consistently applied to turn small opportunities into major wealth. First, the skill acquisition mindset that treats every side hustle as an education rather than just income. Second, the market gap identification that finds overlooked opportunities others have missed. Third, the scalability focus that builds systems bigger than yourself from day one. Fourth, the customer-centric approach that creates genuine value people gladly pay for. And finally, the reinvestment strategy that compounds success rather than simply collecting profit. First principle, the skill acquisition mindset. While most people evaluate side hustles primarily by the immediate income they generate, Cuban sees them as paid learning opportunities. His early side hustles weren't just about making money, they were about developing skills that would compound in value over time. I worked as a bartender, as a server, sold garbage bags door to door, Cuban recalls. Each job taught me something about business I couldn't learn in school. When Cuban started his first computer consulting company, Micro Solutions, he didn't know everything about technology. But he recognized that getting paid to solve problems for clients would force him to learn rapidly while generating income, a superior approach to simply studying technology in isolation. I used to go into the store and read software manuals without buying the software, Cuban has shared. The salesperson would ask if I needed help, and I'd say, "No, I'm just looking for answers to these questions." Then I'd use what I learned to solve clients' problems. This skill acquisition mindset creates a powerful advantage. While others choose side hustles based solely on current market rates, you build valuable expertise that becomes increasingly rare and valuable. You transform from a commodity service provider into a specialized expert with unique capabilities. The reality is, most people won't put in the time to get better at something, Cuban notes. If you put in the effort to excel at something, you've already won. Second principle, the market gap identification. While most entrepreneurs chase obvious opportunities in crowded markets, Cuban has consistently found success by identifying market gaps, needs that exist but aren't being properly addressed. Cuban's path to his first millions started with recognizing a gap in the early computer industry. While big companies focused on selling hardware and software, few were addressing the growing need for systems, integration, and problem-solving. Micro Solutions filled this gap, helping businesses make their technology investments actually work together. I saw that companies were buying PCs and networks, but had no idea how to use them effectively, Cuban explains. They needed someone who could translate technical jargon into real business solutions. Later, Cuban and his partners identified another gap. Sports fans wanted to listen to their hometown radio broadcast while watching games online. This insight led to Broadcast.com, which eventually sold to Yahoo for $5.7 billion. To apply this principle to your side hustle, Cuban suggests asking, where are people experiencing frustration that they're willing to pay to solve? What service exists but is being delivered poorly? What emerging technologies create new needs that established companies are too slow to address? The best market gaps often hide in plain sight, revealed through conversations with potential customers rather than market research reports. Cuban advises spending time directly with the people experiencing the problem you aim to solve. Success is about finding problems and solving them, Cuban says. The bigger the problem you solve, the more successful you'll be. Third principle, the scalability focus. While many side hustles start as solo operations trading time for money, Cuban emphasizes building systems that can grow beyond your personal capacity from day one. There are two kinds of companies, those that work for you, and those you have to work for, Cuban observes. Build the first kind. Even when resources are limited, Cuban suggests thinking about how your side hustle could serve 10x more customers. This doesn't necessarily mean hiring employees immediately. It means creating systems, templates, and processes that make growth possible without proportional increases in your time investment. At MicroSolutions, Cuban created standardized solutions for common problems rather than custom building every solution from scratch. This allowed his company to serve more clients efficiently while preserving margins. Scalability comes from standardization and solving a common problem with unique insights, Cuban explains. The goal isn't to be needed for everything. It's to build something that creates value whether you're there or not. For today's side hustles, scalability might mean creating digital products, building automated systems, developing content that works for you while you sleep, or creating training that empowers others to deliver your methodology. Sweat equity is the most valuable equity there is, Cuban notes. Know your business and industry better than anyone else in the world. Love what you do or don't do it. Fourth principle, the customer-centric approach. While many entrepreneurs focus on their products, services, or ideas, Cuban emphasizes that sustainable success comes from obsessing over customer needs and experiences. Make your customers happier than they expect to be, Cuban advises. The lifetime value of a satisfied customer far exceeds any effort required to please them. At MicroSolutions, Cuban personally took support calls and visited client sites to understand their challenges firsthand. This customer-centric approach didn't just solve immediate problems. It revealed new business opportunities and built relationships that generated referrals. Sales cure all, Cuban often says. Know how your company makes money and focus on that. Everything else is a distraction. For side hustles, this principle means starting with real customer needs rather than your own interests or skills. It means measuring success by customer outcomes rather than your own convenience. And it means constantly asking how you can deliver more value than customers expect. Cuban suggests a simple test. Would your customers be truly disappointed if your product or service disappeared tomorrow? If not, you haven't created enough value yet. This customer-centric approach creates another advantage. While competitors focus on copying each other's features, you focus on solving customer problems in deeper ways that aren't easily replicated. Fifth principle, the reinvestment strategy. While many side hustlers extract all profits for personal spending, Cuban emphasizes the power of systematic reinvestment to fuel exponential growth. It doesn't matter how many times you fail, Cuban says. You only have to be right once. Then everyone can tell you how lucky you are. What looks like luck to others is often the result of strategic reinvestment. When MicroSolutions began generating profit, Cuban didn't upgrade his lifestyle. He reinvested in new technologies, employee development, and expanding services. This created a compounding effect where each success fueled the next opportunity. Cuban suggests treating your side hustle like a growing business from day one, with clear accounting that separates business capital from personal income. This mental discipline makes reinvestment decisions more intentional. The best way to become a millionaire is to act and look like one, Cuban advises, not in terms of spending, but in terms of how you treat your business finances and reinvestment decisions. For side hustles, reinvestment might mean upgrading tools and systems, investing in learning and skill development, hiring help for low-value tasks, or funding marketing to reach more customers. Each reinvestment should aim to remove bottlenecks that limit growth. It's not about money or connections, Cuban notes. It's the willingness to outwork and outlearn everyone. Practical application: building your millionaire side hustle. 1. Identifying your opportunity. The journey to a millionaire-making side hustle begins with finding the right opportunity. Cuban suggests looking at the intersection of 3 factors: your skills and interests, market gaps with unmet needs, and opportunities for scalability. Start by inventorying your existing skills, experiences, and interests. Then observe where people and businesses experience friction, frustration, or unmet needs. The best opportunities often come from combining seemingly unrelated experiences, like Cuban's combination of technical knowledge and business communication skills. Don't start a company unless it's an obsession and something you love, Cuban advises. If you have an exit strategy, it's not an obsession. Rather than trying to find a completely original idea, look for ways to deliver existing services better, faster, or with a unique twist that addresses overlooked customer needs. Packaging counts, Cuban notes. How you present yourself and your product matters as much as the product itself. 2. Starting small but thinking big. Cuban emphasizes that successful side hustles start small, but with a vision for growth. Begin by serving a handful of customers exceptionally well rather than trying to reach everyone immediately. Do the work. Outwork. Outthink. Outsell your expectations, Cuban advises. There are no shortcuts. This focused approach allows you to refine your offering, gather testimonials, and develop systems before scaling. It also minimizes initial investment while maximizing learning. It's not about money or connections, Cuban says. It's the willingness to outwork and outlearn everyone when it comes to your business. Start your side hustle with minimal overhead, but invest in the tools and resources that directly impact customer experience and your ability to deliver value efficiently. 3. Building systems for growth. As your side hustle gains traction, focus on building systems that allow you to serve more customers without proportionally increasing your time investment. The effort you put into your business should enable you to work on your business rather than just in your business, Cuban explains. This means documenting processes, creating templates, developing intellectual property, building automation where possible, and establishing clear metrics to measure performance. Time is the most valuable asset you don't own, Cuban notes. You may or may not realize it yet, but how you use or don't use your time is going to be the best indication of where your future is going to take you. For service-based side hustles, consider how you might package your expertise into products, subscription models, or training programs that create recurring revenue without requiring your constant attention. 4. Marketing and scaling your side hustle. Once you've established a strong foundation, Cuban emphasizes that growth requires intentional marketing and scaling strategies. No sales, no company, Cuban states bluntly. Know how you're going to earn new customers, and focus relentlessly on that process. Rather than spreading yourself thin across many marketing channels, Cuban suggests mastering one channel before expanding to others. This might mean becoming known on a specific platform, excelling in a particular networking environment, or developing a referral system that consistently generates new business. The edge is knowing more about your customers than your competitors do, Cuban advises. Use that knowledge to solve problems for them in ways that others can't. As your side hustle grows, be strategic about which aspects you continue handling personally and which you delegate or automate. Cuban suggests focusing your personal time on the highest value activities that directly drive growth. The mindset dimension. Cuban emphasizes that beyond specific strategies, becoming a millionaire through a side hustle requires developing the right mindset. Embrace the grind. Nobody is going to know or care about your failures, Cuban says. All they will see is your success, so keep working. Become a lifelong learner. Always be reading and learning about your industry, Cuban advises. The person who has the information edge owns the decision. Cultivate resilience. It doesn't matter how many times you fail, Cuban notes. You only have to be right once. Focus on execution over ideas. Ideas are easy. Implementation is hard, Cuban often says. Stay adaptable. The one thing in life that you can control is your effort, Cuban emphasizes. Being able to adapt is critical to success. The path to side hustle millions. The path from side hustle to millionaire status isn't about finding a magical business idea or getting lucky with a viral moment. As Cuban's career demonstrates, it's about approaching entrepreneurship with the right principles consistently applied over time. By treating your side hustle as a skill-building platform, identifying genuine market gaps, focusing on scalability from day one, obsessing over customer value, and strategically reinvesting for growth, you position yourself to build something much bigger than a typical part-time income stream. Everyone has the will to win. Few have the will to prepare to win, Cuban often says. This preparation isn't just about business plans and market research. It's about developing the mindset, skills, and systems that transform a simple side hustle into a wealth-building machine. The side hustle that makes you a millionaire isn't determined by the industry you choose or the timing of market trends. It's determined by how you approach it, with the discipline, focus, and strategic thinking that Cuban has demonstrated throughout his career. Remember Cuban's words, "Work like there is someone working 24 hours a day to take it all away from you." With this mindset and the 5 principles we've explored, your side hustle has the potential to become much more than extra income. It could become your path to millionaire status.